What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Broad Street Coverage Podcast. Today we have myself, Philly Sports Today, Nate, Philly Sports Gang, Samir, Fly Sixers Fly, Nick, 76 Nation, and after a long time, Alex is back, Philly Eagles only. Today we're going to be talking about the draft and potential targets for the Eagles, and also who we think will be drafted around the Eagles.
Okay, as most of you guys know, the NFL draft is this week. Starts Thursday, April 29th. The Jacksonville Jaguars currently hold the number 1 overall pick, but I think everyone can agree here when we say that Trevor Lawrence is basically a Jaguar right now.
For sure.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then we're just going to go down the draft order up until like around where the Eagles are, because I think that would just give us a sense of some prospects that will be on the board for us. So moving down the list, we have first overall Trevor Lawrence from Clemson. Second overall is looking like Zach Wilson from BYU.
Yeah.
Into basically
third overall.
Okay. Yeah, third overall is where like all the variables start playing.
So
Mac Jones and
third overall is pretty interesting because people are saying that the whole Mac Jones thing is a smokescreen, but like I don't really understand why it would be a smokescreen in the first place because like the 49ers aren't benefit anything.
Yeah, the only reason I think that I think Justin Fields is going to get drafted to the 49ers, and I feel like that's the right choice to make. I mean, I really feel like you can't really go wrong with any quarterback that you pick in that system, just with like the way they like to run. But I think even last year or the year before, whenever they took Kinlaw and Brandon Ayuk, I don't think anyone really expected that to happen.
Yeah, that's
There's just like a bunch of other names. Yeah. So I feel like
really expected them to trade for Jimmy G either.
Right. So they're kind of just like known to do these things like that no one really expects, like kind of these unexpected things. And I mean, no disrespect to Mac Jones. I'm sure he's a good player in some regard, but I feel like he's not someone you trade up third overall to draft. I think Justin Fields is definitely the guy.
Yeah, I agree with that partially, but like when you look at Kyle Shanahan's history of like quarterbacks that he's used, they don't really have the skill set that Justin Fields and Trey Lance have. Like when he was with Washington, he had Kirk Cousins. When he was in Atlanta, he had Matt Ryan, and then last year he obviously had Jimmy G. So like he doesn't have experience with a mobile quarterback.
Right,
I think Justin Fields is a better pocket passer than Mac Jones, and then he can elevate the offense with his running ability. And even Trey Lance, I would say, is pretty close with Mac Jones' pocket.
Right, I agree with that, but I'm just saying like the type of player that Mac Jones is, it does replicate other quarterbacks that Kyle Shanahan has been with in the past.
I don't know. I feel like he'd just be making a big mistake, trading up to get Mac Jones. Like when he arguably could have been there for 12. We're gonna go through the order, but I don't know. I guess he could go to the.
I think it's definitely smart.
Broncos, but
yeah. I remember somebody saying that apparently the Niners said that they were going to draft Quinnen Williams, and then they obviously didn't. So
yeah, that's a good point as well.
I mean, it could be smoke again because I don't think anybody in their right mind would trade up to 3 for Mac Jones. Doesn't make any sense.
I don't understand why it would be a smoke screen. Like, what are the Niners?
They could have traded up to 7 or 8 for less.
Well,
what did they have originally?
When you think you have your guy, you trade
up.
That's what I'm about to say. Like, if they think Mac Jones is the guy at 3, then they're gonna trade up for him.
Yeah, I mean, we did that with Carson Wentz too at the time. Maybe I'm thinking of a different time period, but there's at one point where Carson Wentz was below quarterbacks like Paxton Lynch in like the quarterback rankings. I think he eventually
I agree with that, but
made it to the top.
I don't know if that's comparable.
I don't think, but it's like
Mac Jones isn't the type of I don't know. He doesn't have like a ceiling like Wentz had.
No, I get that. But what I'm saying is it's like a bad analogy to make. But I'm saying like when you think you have your guy, you'll go all in on them.
Yeah,
because that is like your franchise guy. After all, you put all the pieces that you can to get him.
I think at
number 4.
Oh
shit, my bad.
I think Mac Jones could be all right with the Niners, but if they had Fields or Lance, that would just unlock the offense so much more.
Yeah, definitely.
surefire Super Bowl candidate.
Yeah. Yeah, it just I guess you want to absolutely 100% guarantee that you're going to get your guy. So I guess that's why they traded up to Reed. But still,
basically at the third pick, like it's guaranteed it's going to be a quarterback. So
yeah, definitely. I don't see anyone
so
else.
moving on to 4 with the Falcons, they could
Yeah.
obviously do like a lot of different things. They could pick Kyle Pitts maybe. They could pick Sewell. They could go quarterback. Like they could do a lot of different things, and that's obviously going to affect the Eagles. Well, not really, because like I don't think Pitts is going to fall at 12 anyway.
Yeah.
But they could do a lot of different things.
It could affect the Eagles if they trade back with the Broncos and go back to 9 for defense and take someone like Horn or Surtain or even Parsons.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
How interested the Eagles are in Parsons, but
and then at 5, the Bengals are either going to pick Chase or Sewell. It's like pretty much.
I think you have to take Sewell in that case.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you guys saw that one photo that like of the new Bengals uniforms, but that like scar on Joe Burrow's knee looked really scary. I know that doesn't mean much, but it's like if you can have someone like I mean you can have someone like Ja'Marr Chase in your offense. That's amazing. Like it'll be really cool for the Bengals, but it's not gonna mean anything when Joe Burrow has less than a second to get that ball out. I think it's more like, do you want to have a long and healthy career for Joe Burrow, or do you want him to be constantly under pressure and fear that he could get hurt again?
And receivers aren't that big of a hole for the Bengals. Like they could easily.
That's what I'm saying. They have people like T. Higgins and all that.
And also, Tyler Boyd is a really underrated receiver. But I do understand where the Bengals are coming from with taking Chase at 5, if they do, because you have to understand their biggest issue on the offensive line isn't their tackles. They just signed, I think, Riley Reef to play right tackle next year. And they also have Jonah Williams that they drafted just 2 years ago. So I think that they more so need interior offensive line help rather than a franchise left tackle.
I mean, Sewell can pretty much play everywhere besides center, I guess.
Yeah, but
you could put Sewell.
Yeah, but you don't know how well this is going to translate into the NFL.
That's true. So and like maybe they don't think it would translate well. So that's a good point.
Exactly. So I don't know. I can't blame the Bengals for wanting to take Chase if he's there, especially if Burrow is lobbying for him. Like in my opinion,
you want to make your franchise guy happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So basically, it's just a toss-up between Sewell and Chase, which kind of impacts what I thought the Dolphins were going to go at for 6th overall. I thought they were going to go after Ja'Marr Chase. But assuming the Bengals take Ja'Marr Chase, do you think the Dolphins end up with someone like Sewell instead? Or
yeah, I feel like the Dolphins are just going to take whoever the Bengals don't take. That's how I see it.
Right.
Personally, I think the Dolphins will take Kyle Pitts if he gets to 6.
Well, I don't think Kyle Pitts will make it to there.
If someone trades up to 4 and the quarterbacks go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the Bengals draft Chase or Sewell, he'll get 6.
I don't know. I don't really see it because, like, I mean, Gesicki's really good. Like, we made that argument with the Eagles with, like, Goddard, but, I mean, Gesicki's kind of, like, already the same type of player as Pitts.
Well, you got to understand that Pitts isn't your typical tight end. You can line him up literally anywhere.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And two, the Eagles drafted Dallas Goedert with Ertz in the middle of his prime, and they just spammed 2 tight end sets. So that's probably something that the Dolphins would do if they drafted Pitts.
And I think Pitts would be better for Tua than Sewell or Chase would be.
I don't think the Dolphins would pick Waddle or Smith just because they got Will Fuller on a 1-year deal. I mean, he's only on 1 year, but I don't know. I just don't think that they're really options to them, especially what they said about Tua, about how they think Mac Jones is better, or what was it their quarterback? What did you say?
I could see them drafting Smith. I don't see them drafting.
Yeah. And then it's 7. Who's at 7 again? Sorry.
The
I
Lions.
think
Go with
Lions.
Yeah.
the best
I
player
think they're getting a wide receiver. Honestly, the next best wide receiver available. Just because maybe I'm ill-informed, but I'm pretty sure the Lions lost a good amount of wide receivers this season, like this offseason.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they lost like Galladay. I think they had Amendola. I don't know what's happened
Marvin
with him.
Jones.
They lost Marvin Jones as well.
Yeah, so I think they're gonna just take a wide receiver. But I honestly don't know. They
I
could
don't
go for
know.
someone like Rashawn Slater, maybe.
Yeah, I feel like they'll do what Nick said. They'll just go best player available. Like, I
Yeah.
don't think they have any like one position locked in mind. Because like they could pretty much do anything. Like they could take quarterback if it's there. Like I don't think they believe Jared Goff is the future for them. I don't think he is the future for them.
Yeah, me neither.
Typically, I would say that you could definitely go, or that the Lions could definitely go quarterback at 7, but their GM that they just hired was a huge player in trading up for Jared Goff when he was with the
really?
Rams.
Yeah.
Right.
There's that
So-
connection.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so there's a connection there. So I don't think that they're gonna draft a quarterback, even if somebody like Fields or Lance are there.
Yeah, all right, that's a fair point. I didn't
Yeah.
even know that he was involved in that. But
I'd
yeah, they'll
imagine
probably
they'd
still
probably
go
just-
best player available.
Give Goff a year, and then they're probably gonna have a top 5 pick next year. So,
Yeah.
well, not probably, pretty much guaranteed.
Yeah,
So
they'll
if
get
they-
Howell
yeah.
Rattler.
If he stinks again, they can just draft a quarterback next year.
Right. And also they have the 2 first-round picks from the Matthew Stafford deal that they can use. If, let's say, hypothetically, they don't have a top 5 pick, they can always trade back up if they wanted to get one of those quarterbacks.
And then moving on to 8, we've got the Panthers, who could pretty much do a lot of things. Probably not quarterback now that they have Darnold, but their pick probably affects the Eagles a lot too.
Yeah, because I think they're gonna get J.C. Horn. I feel like they'll probably draft him, which definitely throws the Eagles off a little bit.
I think they'll
Mhm.
draft Rashawn Slater. I think they'll try to give Donald what he's never had and give him some help. They are like elite weapons with Robbie Anderson, not Curtis Allen, DJ Moore, Christian McCaffrey. Like they have all that, except they don't have a line. I feel like they'll try to get Darnold help and see if he actually has stuff.
They could pick Pitts if he's there too, but like we said, Pitts probably won't be there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely think J.C. Horn is the guy there, unfortunately, because I want the Eagles to draft him, but
I mean, honestly, like this is you say unfortunately, but honestly, I don't want to draft a defensive player just because I mean maybe my logic is flawed, but I feel like throughout the course of the last couple of years, we've dealt a lot better with mediocre pieces on our defense than we have with mediocre players on offense. Like I just want to address an offense. I want to get someone. Well, we'll get to the pick soon, but I think it's a good sign if we get someone on offense rather than defense. I'd much
yeah,
rather
that's a
do
good
that.
point.
Mm-hmm.
But
Um,
So coming in
9
at 9 is the Broncos, where
Yeah,
they could go a
Broncos.
lot of different directions. They could, if Justin Fields falls to them, they could obviously draft him. Same with Trey Lance.
Yeah,
Maybe
Nick-
I'm not a Broncos fan, but maybe
Yeah.
offensive line. If Rashawn Slater is there, obviously. They could also go maybe linebacker if they like Micah Parsons or Jeremiah Usa-Koromora. So there are a
Yeah.
lot of options for the Broncos at 9.
Nick,
Yeah,
do you
like
think,
Nick is the
like,
Broncos
realistically
fan.
they could
So.
trade up?
Yeah,
Nick, what do you think as well?
I think if we don't trade up, we'll probably trade back and try to go for Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. That's who I hope for, at least. Rashawn Slater would also be a good pick because
Yeah.
Juwan James hasn't played and he's always injured. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that could do.
Potential trade back with the Eagles?
Could be.
Question mark. Hopefully. And moving on to 10, we got the Cowboys. Pretty much guaranteed to take a corner. Like there's, unless they decide to spite us and draft another wide receiver ahead of us. But
They
I
might.
doubt they
They
will do that.
Yeah.
They're pretty much guaranteed to take a corner.
I think they're gonna take
Surtain or
Surtain.
Horn.
Yeah, it sounds
But-
like Sertan or JC Horn if Horn is there.
But the thing that worries me next is 11th overall, which is the New York Giants. I think there's someone that could end up taking a wide receiver. Just give Daniel Jones another weapon. Give him no excuses,
Yeah.
basically. I think they're going to take someone like it's really a toss-up. The way that I see it is I'm not too familiar with who's better between the two. I know I've talked to Nick about it, but I think it's really just a toss-up between Devonta Smith and Jalen Waddle for the Giants.
Or I think they could take Slater.
That's true. They could.
But I don't know. I
I've seen
guess
Jalen Phillips get
different.
rumored to them too.
Also, yeah, I think
Really?
Phillips could go there. I think Micah Parsons
Mhm.
would be a really good fit there as well. I don't think they go corner or safety. Obviously not safety.
Yeah.
I don't think they go corner. But yeah, Slater, Parsons, Phillips, and Devontae Smith and Waddle. I think those are the big five for the Giants at 11.
And then here we are at pick 12, the Eagles. Like just going over what we've talked about, it's pretty much a guarantee that like one of Smith, Waddle, Surtain, and Horn are there. Like it's possible that they're not, but I think at least one of those four players will be there. And then at that point, I think it's just a matter of who's there, and then we just need to pick them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really think you can go wrong with either Surtain or Horn or between Smith and Waddle. Personally, I would like to go wide receiver, but I wouldn't be too
Yeah.
upset with the cornerback. I just think we owe it. And I was really mad when we traded back until I got the full details and realized we basically have 3 first rounders next year. I was kind of mad about the whole trading down from 6th overall because I was basically I felt like Hurts deserved that shot another year, and he especially deserved it with proper weapons. Someone like Jamar Chase would definitely have been huge. I think Jamar Chase would have been a perfect complement for how Rager plays and his play style. But yeah, I really hope we get someone like Waddle or Smith because I definitely do think that we deserve and Jalen Hurts deserves a chance to play with the best weapons that he can get potentially and prove himself.
Yeah, I agree with
completely.
what you're saying, Samir. So I got a question for you guys. If the Eagles landed somebody like Kwity Paye at not at 13, at 12, what would you guys' reactions be?
I probably would just turn off the TV and go to bed.
Yeah, that would just ruin
I think I actually might.
my week.
Yeah, I might be depressed. Honestly, I was already depressed when we traded down and did or my hopes of getting Jamar Chase went away. But if we actually drafted someone like him, and he's a great player, but that we don't need defensive line.
I haven't really. Yeah, well, I don't know. We could use an edge, just not a 12. I don't know. I haven't really done my research on the D linemen in this class, but I just feel like picking them at 12 would just be a mistake, especially Kwity Paye, because I see a lot of bad things as much as I see good things about him. I don't know. It would just be a huge mistake in my opinion.
The edges are kind of deep, but the interior D line is not deep at all. It's very bad.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even mind if we came out of this draft without an interior D lineman. We have Cox for the foreseeable future and Hargrave. We need an edge more than anything because Barnett is either going to get extended or probably just leave next offseason.
Yeah, and then you have Josh Sweat, who he looked good last year. He looked really good last year, but I don't know.
He just can't play a lot of snaps because of his knee issues.
Because of his knee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I could sit there and just watch us draft another edge or I don't know. I just want a wide receiver, and also I don't want an offensive lineman unless it was Sewell, but I feel like that's such a boring position to draft. Especially I feel like we have solid pieces there already. Jack Driscoll looked pretty good in the time that he played. There's another guy who I'm forgetting.
Jordan Mailata.
No, I know him, of course. I'm talking about the other. He's the other white guy.
Herbig.
Herbig, yeah,
yeah.
the fat guy, yeah, the little chubby
Nate
guy. I liked
Herbig.
him. Nate Herbig, yeah. But
Yeah, I don't really feel like O-line is like a big like need at 12. Just like obviously Brooks and Lane and Kelsey are all aging, but I just don't think that we should pick them there because we've got young guys who stepped up last year and played well enough.
right,
And obviously we have later picks in this draft.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like we have a bunch of later round picks that we could always just use to get it like a diamond in the rough offensive lineman or something. But I've seen like a couple reports that like so and so fall beyond like a certain point that the Eagles might trade up and get him. Like one name that I saw thrown in was Justin Fields. How would you guys feel if on draft night we traded up and we took Justin Fields?
Well, personally, I'm a huge Justin Fields fan.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I wouldn't be mad by it. I definitely wouldn't be excited by it. But I'd be intrigued for sure. I feel like if the Eagles believe that they have an upgrade, you have to take it. Especially if he's there and he's falling. Like, let's say he falls to 8 and you want to jump the Broncos, so you trade up with the Panthers.
Yeah.
I feel like if you believe you have an upgrade, you should do it. That's just my opinion, especially at quarterback.
Yeah, like I definitely get that logic. Like my opinion is I just want to give Hurts a chance. So I would
That's the thing.
I'm kind of disappointed by it, but like if Justin Fields turned out to be like a really great pick for us, I wouldn't be mad, obviously. But it's just not what I would prefer to do.
Yeah, I agree with giving Hurts a chance. I just think he's earned a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And,
for sure.
But again, like Alex says, if Sirianni, for a first-year coach coming in with the guy that he's in love with, I mean, I don't know, and basically growing together, that could be interesting too.
It's like a Doug Peterson, Carson Wentz love story all over again.
Right, exactly. I have one question though. Why do people act like Jalen Hurts deserves a chance? Like he was extremely
I don't understand how he
inconsistent
doesn't
last
deserve
year.
a chance.
I don't get how he doesn't either. I mean,
How does
the
he
way
not
that I
deserve a
saw
chance?
it. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Well, I
can
mean,
just
like, he
say
was a pretty below average
why?
quarterback.
Oh,
last year.
because
okay.
all right, sure, okay, fine. Like if you want to look at
we can
advanced numbers or
do
something,
that.
but I think he proved that he didn't prove that he's a capable starter, but he proved that he can win ball games. He proved that he's willing to put his body on the line. He can make
won't give
throws
up
when
on
he
the
has to
team.
make throws. I just don't understand why he wouldn't get one more chance. Why he wouldn't?
I mean,
Yeah,
but he played
the-
4 games. That's not
Okay,
enough
I know, but
evidence
here, let
to
me-
evaluate a player.
Here, let's think about it this way.
It's not
Okay,
enough time to evaluate a player, but why does he not deserve a chance?
Because he
threw.
didn't play. Because he's a second round pick and he shouldn't have been starting. If Carson Wentz wasn't terrible, he wouldn't be in the game in the first place.
And the thing is, he played well given the circumstances.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
Like,
is okay.
you
Alex,
know,
Alex,
I don't care if they
Alex,
Taysom Hill, but
the
still,
way that like I see it at least is I saw
we should have beat
someone
the Cardinals
who
too.
I saw like a team that looked pretty broken. Just they didn't really look like they knew what they were doing out there. And you throw this second round rookie in there who's just meant to sit on the bench all season. You throw him in there, and all of a sudden the team rallies around him. I mean, you saw like the difference in like how the team was playing. And I don't know. I feel like Hurts just really gave it his all. I mean, I know it doesn't sound like a valid justification, but worst case scenario, we have 3 first round picks next year. If Jalen Hurts doesn't work out, you can always trade up and get someone like Sam Howell. But I think he does at least deserve another shot. Yeah, because like I feel he does deserve another shot. I mean,
I absolutely think he does.
Why wouldn't
I
he?
don't know. I just don't think that Jalen Hurts is entitled to have the starting job.
No one says he's entitled to.
I'm not saying he's entitled, but I hate the people. I'm not saying like the woke crowd, but the people that are trying to bring up advanced stats in a 4-game sample size for a guy who got thrown into the fire as a second round. Like, you know what I mean?
He
like,
just got thrown in there.
I just don't think he took like no reps with like the first team in like the off season too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Like he basically just didn't have an off season with the starters.
Yeah,
I don't know. I agree.
I mean, I think he deserves a chance, but like I said, if we're really in love with the quarterback that's not named Mac Jones, then yeah, I guess I wouldn't be too upset.
Yeah, like I mean, obviously, no one's saying that he's entitled to saying. I mean, if they draft another quarterback like Justin Fields, and so be it, they'll battle it out in camp or something. But I think what we're trying to say is that he's at least shown us enough that he deserves at least another shot to prove himself and like why he could be the starting quarterback. Because I think just given the situation that he was kind of just thrown recklessly into that situation. I mean, like the team was just bad, the system was broken. I mean, you even saw the way like our players were being used. I mean, I think Alex, you posted it. Jalen Reagor was targeted like 17 times out of like 512 plays, like where he was designated to get the ball. So it's like it was a system where they were just misusing their players, and you kind of threw Hurts in there, and he just gave it his all. I mean, he fought, he like kept on running, tried to get every first down. So I think he's just shown enough, like in terms of like his aggression, his attitude, and his like demeanor that he should at least get another shot to play out there.
My thing is, I just find it weird how the last 2 games of the season, people love to forget those, and especially when people started to have film on Hurts and they started figuring him out. That's people I'd love to forget that, but they just.
I would not bring up you're bringing up the Redskins or the football team.
Yeah, I mean, he won us the Redskins game.
How many people were out in that game?
I'm talking about the Cowboys game as well.
We had like 5 drops.
The Cowboys game was rough, yeah. But again, it was his third game,
That's what happens.
Or no,
when a backup quarterback comes in the game for the first time
actually.
and they don't have film on them, that's why they start driving and the game gets interesting again. And then they finally got film on him. And
what about the Saints game and the Cardinals game?
They didn't have
film on him.
How did they not have film on him?
It was his first
because
game.
He didn't play an NFL snap yet.
The Cardinals, he did. The Cardinals game.
Okay, they didn't have much film. They didn't have enough film to evaluate him.
Okay, so they didn't have film to evaluate him in the Cardinals game, but then they magically have all this film in the Cowboys game. Maybe it was just a bad game. Like I
also abandoned the run in that game in the second half. Like just completely stopped running the ball when it was working. Like we were driving down the field.
You can thank Doug for that.
By running the ball, and we just stopped doing it.
Also, pretty sure our defense not collapse in that Eagles-Cowboys game? Or am I thinking
our defense absolutely collapsed in that game. But it also created a turnover. Didn't we create 2 turnovers or just one, and we couldn't capitalize on either of them?
I'm pretty sure this might have been the game Gallup had 300 yards or something.
Yeah, it was.
Like that. Yeah.
Didn't Slay have a pick in that game?
Yeah, he did, but that was like, yeah. Okay, we lost 37-17. Let's see. Michael Gallup 6 receptions for 121 yards, 2 touchdowns. Mari Cooper 4 receptions, 121 yards. CD Lamb 3 receptions for 65 yards and a touchdown. So just also keep in mind Andy Dalton was playing quarterback and Ezekiel Elliott 105 yards on top of that. So this doesn't seem like something I would solely blame on Jalen Hurts. I mean, could he have played better?
No, I don't think. I mean, he was the loss is blamed on Jalen Hurts, but he was bad. He was bad, and he did that. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was an interception off the turnover. That was just really bad.
Mm-hmm.
But again, he's still like I don't know. So because he played bad in the Cowboys game, he doesn't deserve another chance. Like I don't know.
I think he should be given the benefit of the doubt because he was a second-round rookie playing his first 4 games. He didn't have like an off season with the team. Like obviously,
I just don't understand how 4 games is enough for people to not want to take a quarterback. If one is there at 4, or if Justin Fields starts falling.
We're not saying that
we're not saying we wouldn't want to. We just would prefer to do other things.
Like there's bigger needs that I think need to be addressed in a quarterback. Like we have a quarterback that we know can play, but
I don't know. Like we know he can play. He played 4 games.
Is, like, okay, you want to say that he played 4 games? He also didn't have an entire offseason to play with our offense. So, like, sure, they might have gotten film, but Hurts probably, like, the first time Hurts threw a football to Jalen Reagor against the Packers, that was probably the first time he's thrown it to him in, like, maybe his entire career since he's been drafted by the team.
Also,
So I'm saying,
Yeah, but the thing is, next year's quarterback class is very, 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 very weak. This year's is
well, guess what?
Yeah,
That's the
exactly.
thing.
I was
If you
just
want
about
to
to
say
say
that
that,
it's
Nick.
weak,
You
we
see
also
somebody at pick 12 or even at 8 that is a huge upgrade over Hurst, you take it because you're not guaranteed a top pick next year, and you're not guaranteed a good
we have
quarterback.
3
next year.
firsts though. That's what I was going to bring
Well, the
up.
thing
like
is, if
Alex
we don't
said
have a top
earlier.
pick next year, that probably means Hurts is pretty good. So
You can be
Yeah, that too.
20 touchdown, 16 interception guy, and you go 7-10 or something like that, get 12th pick.
okay, but
If he's average, while Justin
even
Fields,
okay. So you
What
said
I
that
wanted to bring up. Wait, go ahead,
sorry.
Samir.
Okay. You said that maybe the draft class isn't good next year, but the thing is, if that's the case, then we have Hurts for 2 more years on a cheap contract that we could, if we wanted to, we could just ride it out. But the way that I see it is, if we really need to, we can just trade up next year. Despite how bad the draft class might be for quarterbacks, I think that those 3 first-round picks are there and definitely could be used.
What I wanted to bring up is how earlier Alex said like how the Lions will give like Jared Goff a chance and they have like extra first so they can trade up and get a quarterback with next year. Well, how can you not apply that same logic to the Eagles with Jalen Hurts?
Okay, I didn't say
Lions
that
might
at
not
all. I
be
only said that because their new GM worked with the Rams and helped trade up for Goff. I didn't say that. I didn't use that as logic. It wasn't an opinionated
Okay,
statement.
so
It was
why
a
don't we
factual
why
statement.
can't we use the logic that who's our quarterbacks coach was like basically someone that Jalen Hurts calls uncle? Like, it's that almost that type of logic, not to that extent, but the
Not
fact
at
that like
all.
you have someone, okay, but you still have like someone that's close to the current quarterback that's
Okay, but
working
Brian
specifically
Johnson
on.
didn't help trade up for Jalen Hurts. That's not even close.
No one helped to
So-
trade up for Jalen Hurts. They just picked him.
I know.
for
That's what I'm
whatever
saying.
reason. For whatever reason, but yeah.
and Jared Goff is making like $30-something million a year. It's not like you can just dump his contract.
Well, he gets still on the bench.
Right, exactly.
Exactly, you're just eating money on the bench. Like, that'd be
I mean, what
pointless.
else are the Lions going to do with that money? Let's be real here.
Try to improve.
All right, I guess we should move on from that topic.
Yeah, I mean
I
another.
wanted to.
Well, yeah, Jack, what's up?
we're not. Are we going through the rest of the draft or?
I wanted to talk about like potential like trade back
Trading
scenarios
down.
for the
Oh,
Eagles.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
so
like- Go ahead, Samir.
oh no, I was just gonna lead us into the next part, or if you want to do that, it's cool.
No, go ahead.
Yo, I have to leave soon because I got school tomorrow morning.
Okay, we'll wrap this up. Okay, so obviously an alternative solution, we just talked about trading up for someone like Justin Fields. Another possibility is to trade down. I don't know to where, but I'm assuming the only situation we trade down in is if the people that we wanted, such as like Waddle, Smith, Horn, and Surtain are just gone. But yeah, what do you guys think about trading down?
I would not
like
be
we
a
could
fan
definitely-
personally.
Go ahead, like explain, Alex, because I was just gonna give
I
some
just don't.
possibilities.
I don't think you would get the value. I don't know. I feel like if Horn, Surtain, Waddle, and Farley, or not Farley, excuse me. Who's the last guy I'm forgetting? Smith. If they're
Yeah.
gone, I feel like there would be another player who's worth taking at 12, whether that's Slater or Fields, or well, Fields won't be there at 12, but another player will be there. I just don't think. I don't know. I just don't think that you can trade out of that spot. You don't have a lot of talent. You have to get somebody who you know is or has a good chance of being a really good player in the league. You can't keep trading back and expecting to find better players, especially when your GM doesn't have a good resume at drafting.
That's a really good point. I wanted to bring up like one scenario that I heard on the radio today. It was like, what if the Bears, like, what if a QB falls, like, or what if like Mac Jones is at 12 and the Bears like really like them and they wanted to trade up from 20 to 12 and they gave us like another first and we selected someone like Bateman maybe at 20.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what would you think about that?
100%.
Now that I would like because you're getting an extra first, and
And
I'm
you get
also a
Rashad
really big
Bateman.
Bateman fan. But like, if you're trading with the Patriots or something like that, you're probably not going to get a first for just moving back 3 spots.
Yeah, that's a really good point. I don't know. Yeah, I probably I really didn't want to trade back from 6 in the first place.
Yeah,
But here we are. I'm just gonna have to deal with it. We also got a first out of it. But I don't know. I'm just really anxious to see what we do end up doing.
I think an interesting option would be if Max Jones is falling out of the top 10 and the Bears want him. They trade up to 12, and then the Eagles draft Caleb Farley if he's falling with his back issues.
I would love that.
That'd be a very
Definitely.
good pick. Bateman could be there too.
Mm-hmm.
I think they have a lot of options at 20, while also other picks.
But yeah, what Alex said, trading back with the Patriots, probably wouldn't be a good option.
But at the end of the day, I feel like, yeah, I mean, I feel like we have some type of leverage over the Patriots just because it's them wanting their quarterback. We might be able to milk a first-round pick, but like you guys said, it might be hard to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I like the idea of trading back if we were to get a first-round pick and we were able to draft someone like Rashad Bateman. But other than that, I don't know. It's just trading from the first place. I was just mad from trading from 6 to 12 because I felt like 6 overall was such a Howie-proof pick. You can't mess it up. There's Jamar Chase and there's Kyle Pitts. Don't mess it up. But now it's there's Devonta Smith, there's Jalen Waddle, there's J.C. Horn, there's Patrick Surtain. Don't mess it up. And then there's also the possibility of trading for Justin Fields. Don't mess it up though. And then you want to move down 8 more positions to 20th overall, where the pool just completely opens. And just like you guys said, given the track record that Howie Roseman has, I don't think he's someone to be trusted with a later round pick like that, 20th overall. I really don't think. I mean, 20th overall was that when we drafted Rager last year?
21st.
We drafted him 21st.
Yeah, there we go. I mean, actually, in my defense, I think Rager's still a very talented player if utilized.
He's always going to be known as the guy who got picked 1 spot ahead of Jefferson, though.
Yeah, which is unfortunately not his fault at all.
It's not.
I feel bad that he has to live up to that. You guys have seen all the stuff he's done on social media. I mean, a lot of people just see it as weird, but I genuinely feel really bad for the guy. I mean,
I'm rooting
every day.
Well, obviously, he's an Eagle, but in a more than just as a human. I don't know. I think he's going to be good.
Yeah.
I think. Well, I can't really say he's going to be good, but I think he can be definitely solid.
So, beyond the first round, we have pick 37, we have pick 70, pick 84. So, I don't know. It really, for me, the second round pick who we get just depends on what we get in the first round. So, for example, if we were to get someone like J.C. Horn or Patrick Surtain, a cornerback, I definitely want to prioritize getting a wide receiver. And I don't know who you guys are thinking about, but for me, it's Terrace Marshall from LSU. I think that would be a good fit.
Yeah, I think Terrace Marshall or Diane Brown would be my top 2 at 37.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Nick said, I would love Diami Brown at 37. Kadarius Toney too. If he's somehow there, I would love that.
For corners, let's say we go wide receiver round 1. There's Asante Samuel, but a lot of people question his fit in Sirianni's defense. Just because he's not a big corner, he's kind of on the smaller side. Maybe Eric Stokes.
Yeah, I like Eric Stokes a lot.
Yeah.
Tyson Campbell as well, the other Georgia corner.
I like Tyson Campbell.
Yeah, he's nice.
I like Elijah Molden. A lot of good corners.
Elijah Molden's more of a slot guy, though. I don't really know if he can play outside.
I'm mainly looking for an outside corner, obviously, but getting a slot corner would be cool too because I don't believe in Avonte Maddox at all.
As an outside corner, for me at least.
I don't believe him in him as a slot corner either. I
Yeah.
really don't think he's a good player.
Disagree with that.
But
If anything, he has Fortnite streaming to fall back on.
yeah. But also
And
we
Karina
get
Kopp.
Yeah, this guy's playing
Uh,
with Karina Kopp. That's crazy.
we get if like let's say we don't pick a corner in like the second round, we get Tay Gowan later in the draft. Also, I think he would be a
Mhm.
good pick.
Yeah.
We also an underrated thing to talk about is we could trade up into the first round with our second round pick.
Yeah.
And maybe one of our thirds.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
No,
Yeah,
that
I
would
would-
definitely be.
I would love trading up back to the first, especially if you can get Bateman or Jeremiah Lucicormora.
Oh god, if we could get someone like Bateman.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
amazing. Who are some linebackers we could get? Maybe Jabril Cox in the second
Jamin
round.
Davis has been flying,
Jamin Davis.
but
Yeah.
if he's there at 37, I feel like that's the 100% pick. You can't pass on him.
Ideally, I want to go wide receiver / corner round 1, and then at 37 either go wide receiver or corner, obviously, or maybe linebacker, like Nick said. If Jamin Davis is there, we could pick him. I'm not really looking for a linebacker as badly now that we signed Eric Wilson, which I think was a really good signing. And like our linebackers weren't that terrible last year besides Nate Gary.
I'll go cap on that.
Oh, yeah.
Alex Singleton had some flashes.
Oh no, he
I mean,
definitely
yeah, but
was.
that's pretty much it. Everybody else
Yeah.
was
I
terrible.
liked a little
I
bit
just
of
feel like
Duke
Nate
Riley.
Gary was
I
so
still want a
awful that
linebacker,
he
honestly.
shadowed over everybody, or how awful the entire unit was.
That's true. I guess.
Except Singleton. Singleton was actually like really solid for us.
Mhm.
Hey, he turned out to be that diamond in the rough.
But if we don't
On the
go
Canadian
linebacker
Football League.
at 37, then we could. I would prioritize one at 70 or 84. We also pick like a safety maybe in a later round.
Yeah, Andre Cisco,
I mean,
the
Anthony
guy
Harris
out of
is like what 29.
yeah. Andre Cisco, the guy out of Syracuse, the guy I like a lot. He's coming off an ACL tear, but he's a really
Mhm.
talented player. I think he'd be a perfect fit in our scheme as well. I would love him as at I think is it 84 or 70? One of those
84.
two
Yeah.
third round picks.
One of those two.
Yeah.
What about Jamar Johnson? I've been hearing his
Don't
name
know a
a
lot
lot.
about him. But
And then what pick do we have in the fourth round? What
We have
123rd?
123. Yeah.
Yeah. I really don't know what we could do there.
Honestly, I was thinking a running back.
I was thinking, the guy out of
Yeah.
Memphis,
Mississippi State.
Kenneth Gainwell. I think that would be a really good
he's
fit.
gonna be very.
Maybe Chuba.
He's
That would be good.
really far down. Well, at least he's projected to go a lot later than he should.
Honestly,
He's very talented.
where's Sam Ellinger projected to?
I doubt he gets
He's-
drafted. If he does, it'll be the 7th.
Because I feel like he's someone the Eagles should just sweep up 7th overall just to have. I don't know.
Maybe we go an edge in the fourth round too.
Yeah, there's a
Like
dude
Buck
from
Samuel
Ohio
out of Penn State, I would love that.
Jonathan Cooper could still
Who?
be there.
Oh.
Shaka
Did
Tony
you
out of
say
Penn
that?
State. I would love that.
O-line could be a possibility maybe in a later round. Definitely no. We're definitely going to take an O-lineman at some point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're not making all 11 picks too. Like we're definitely going to make some
Oh
trades.
yeah,
and
we'll
move
definitely
around.
trade up somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just hoping we
But-
hit on one of these late round picks. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just frustrating because the draft is like that time where you get these cheap players that are meant to contribute for your team, but I just feel like that really just hasn't been the case for us. I mean, there are some players who will come here and there that do contribute, but I'm just like waiting for someone like Quez Watkins to just break out and become like a huge contributor for that team. Because I don't know, it's just frustrating. We don't really hit on these draft picks as much as like I think other teams do. So I don't know. It'll be. Hopefully, we hit on these. It's hard to mess up in this situation, but it's Howie Roseman at the end of the day.
Okay, that's just about gonna wrap it up for our NFL draft episode. We're really anxious to see what the Eagles and obviously the Broncos are gonna do. Knicks Broncos. But yeah, just stay tuned Thursday through Saturday. We'll see what happens.